Welcome to ThriveGroups. We're so glad to have you with us as we are concluding our series, The 90s, where we're talking about the book of Psalms and the chapters that are in the 90s. And before we get going with that, though, we want to talk about our ground rules. First, we want to encourage you to participate, but not to dominate. So share your stories, but leave room for others to share their stories as well. Also, we start on time, we end on time, so make sure that we stay respectful of the locations that we're in and end on time. So we're going to jump right in with our opening question. Where would you love to spend a week? Where would you love to spend a week? For me, I think I would love to spend a week somewhere in Europe, maybe France, somewhere out in the countryside, just kind of learning about the culture, just enjoying the food in the countryside, things like that. I would love to do that at some point. But what about you? Where is somewhere that you would love to spend a week? Okay, we're going to read some verses now, and we're going to talk about what stands out to us. So I'm going to read it. This is a section from Psalm 97, verses 1 through 5, and then we're going to take a few minutes to discuss what stands out to us. So here we go. The Lord is king. Let the earth rejoice. Let the farthest coastlands be glad. Dark clouds surround him. Righteousness and justice are foundations of his throne. Fire spreads ahead of him and burns up all his foes. His lightning flashes out across the world. The earth sees and trembles. The mountains melt like wax before the Lord of all the earth. So let's take a few minutes and talk about what stood out to us in those verses. Next question is, what's the most breathtaking place that you've ever seen? For me, I think it was when I was in Death Valley. Uh, we just kind of ended up there. We were somewhere in the area. We drove through, and man, it was just gorgeous, absolutely beautiful seeing the mountains and the desert and all of these things. It was breathtaking. What about you? What's the most breathtaking place that you've ever seen? Next question is, share about a time when fear consumed you. Well, for me, I wouldn't say it consumed me, but recently, many of you know that I had surgery on my left arm from a bicep that detached, and I had to have tendon reconstruction. And the surgeon told me that one of the possible outcomes was that my hand would kind of like flop over like this for the rest of my life. And so I was pretty nervous about that. It was a little bit risky, but in the end, it all came out okay. But I definitely had some fears going into it. What about you? What's a time when fear really had a grip on your life? Final question is, what can you do to get a bigger picture of God? Specifically this week, what is it that you can do that will help to expand your idea of who God is and how great He is? Well, thank you so much for joining us for our group this week. We're so glad that you came out, and we want to close in prayer. So if you have anything you need prayer for in your life, make sure you share that right now before we actually open it up for prayer. Share your requests, your needs, and in the group, we're going to come together and we're going to pray for those things. I'd encourage each person to pray, even if it's just a few words. Then the next person will go, and then your group leader will close it up. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's close in prayer.